Good morning, welcome in RNQNS classes, chapter number 18, Education in India. So far you have been reading about different aspects of culture such as art, architecture, religion and science. Another important aspect of our culture is in education. But what is education? You may say that it means learning something in schools or from books. This is partially true. Education is a learning experience, but learning takes place at all times in one life. However, where some other learning experience could be of random of accidental nature, an education experience is usually deliberate and pre-designed program with the purpose of affecting certain predetermined behavior change in individual. You are going through such an experience right now as you produce through various lessons of this course, but have you ever wondered how education is related to culture? Culture is sum of total of accumulated experience and achievements of previous generation inherited by a succeeding generation as member of achievement may be called education. Hence, education is not only a mean of passing on cultural beliefs and ideas, but it is also shaped by cultural beliefs such since it is produced of culture. The system of education thus change along with a change in culture. In this lesson, we shall find out about the evolution of the system of education that prevalent in India since the most ancient times because society considered the education of its member as one of primary obligations objectives. After reading this lesson, you will be able to describe the nature of education imparted during different periods of Indian history, ancient, medieval, and modern. Access the contribution of the Jain and Buddhist system of education. Access the education status of women in society with regard to access to education and nature of education imparted to them. Recall the steps undertaken in the field of education while the establishment of Delhi Sultan in medieval India. Examine the impact of spread of modern education during the colonial period. Access the rule of education in independent India in its various aspects such as elementary education, vocational education, higher education, and adult education. Education in the ancient period, Vedic period. Learning in ancient India was imparted by teacher called gurus to the peoples who gathered around them and come to live with them in their house as a member of family. Such a place was called Gurukul. The Gurukul functioned as a domestic school such as ashram where the children learning was developed by Guru who gave a personal instruction as well as attention to the students. Education was primarily the privilege of the upper caste. Learning was an intimate relationship between the teacher and the people called the Guru Shishya Parampara. The process of learning generally begin with religion ceremony, upanyana, scared thread ceremony. Education was normally imparted orally. It included memorization tests like Vedas and Dharma Shastra, fully or partially. Later subject like grammar, logic, and metaphysics came to taught and studied the uh, Mitrani Upanishad teaches and metaphysics came to be taught and studied the Upanishad teaches us that the superior knowledge gyan is result of learning vidya, reflection, chintan, and ostri tapash through in introspection atma Vishleshan, one who to attain godness, sattva, purity of mind and satisfaction of the soul in stages. During the time, self education was regarded as the proper method of attaining the highest knowledge. The best example of this can be found the uh, Taittiriya Upanishad, where Bhargu, of Varuna, approaches his father and ask him to teach what is Brahman. Uh, what is Brahman? The father tells him to find out through meditation. Maurya period. During the Maurya and post-Mauryan period, the Indian society went through a phase of intention change with the growth of urban center and trade. The mercantile community came to acquire an important position. As a result, the guides of the merchant began to play an active role in providing education. They become center of technical education and fostered the knowledge of mining, metallurgy, carpenting, weaving, and dyeing. There were new formulation in building and architecture with the emergence of city life. New architecture from evolved. The guides also gave a patronage to astronomy, the study of the position of stars to help them in ocean navigation. The astronomer and cosmologist began debate on the time kala. This helped the development of sharp sense of time kala in comparison of the past. Medical knowledge began to be systematic as Ayurveda, the element form basic Indian medical system. A right combination of three was necessary for a healthy body. Knowledge, knowledge of knowledge of medicine, um, uh, knowledge of medical properties of herbs and their uses reached very advanced stage. Charka become famous for medicine and Shashruta for surgery. Charak Samhita, written by Charaka, was an authentic and execution work on medicines. You must have heard of Chanakya, who was renowned philosopher, scholars, and teachers. His most famous work in Arthashastra, uh, the curricula of studied mention in the Arthashastra refers primarily to the education of prizes. After Upanishad, the prize learnt of four Vedas and the Vedic study include study of science. They also learned logic, economics, and politicals. Education of those time was primarily lifestyle based, which is so different from what education is today. The curricula in the Ramayana for the princess was Dhanurvidya, uh, Nitishastra, Shiksha of elephant and chariots, Alikhya and Lakhya, painting and writing, Langhana, jumping, and Karana swimming. Gupta period. In the Gupta period, the Jain and Buddhist system of education assumed a different dimension. Buddhist monasteries admitted students of 10 years. Learning began with the oral method. Later on, the shifted to reading literally tests. The monastery had libraries. Important monuments were copied and stored. Students from other countries like China and Southeast Asia came to the Buddhist monasteries for education. The monasteries were normally maintained by grants from kings and rich merchandise class. They attracted scholars from far and near. Fine also spent several years in the monastery at Pataliputra, studying Buddhist religion books. Beside Pataliputra, there were Pataliputra were other centers of learning like Varanasi, Mathura, Ujjain, and Nashik. Nalanda University was known all over Asia for its high standard of scholarship. The subject taught include Vedanta philosophy study court language was the medium of instructions. The Jain used Sanskrit literature like Adipurana and Yashitilika for educational purposes in the earlier phase, but to make education more popular, the medium was changed to Prakriti and other religion language like Tamil, Kannada, and so on. Books in the Jain and Buddhist libraries were written on palm leaves that were tied together and were known as Granths. Slowly, Jainism and Buddhism lost royal patronage and their monasteries started to decline as center of education and learning. The maths supported by Brahmins were institutions parallel to Jain and Buddhist monasteries. The maths functional like ashrams for educational purposes. Post Gupta period. Art and education made great stride in the reign of Harsha. He encouraged education at all levels. Education was given in temples and monasteries, and higher education in universities of Takshila, Ujjain, Gaya, and Nalanda. In Nalanda, uh, Huin is um, Huin Tisang spent several years studying Buddhist sculptures. Shila Bharda, a renowned scholar, was its head. In the 7th and 8th century, Gatikas or colleges attached to the temples emerged as a new center of learning. The Gatikas provide a Brahminical education. The medium of instruction was Sanskrit. Entry to this temple college was open only to the upper caste of Divyas. Twice born use of Sanskrit as the medium of instruction distant the common people from education. Education become the privilege of only the upper caste section of the society. Aims of education. In ancient India, education was a matter of individual concern. The aim of education was the development of pupils' overall personality. Within this view of education as a process of inner growth and self fulfillment, technique, rules, and method were evolved. It was believed that the development of personal means primarily the training of his her mind as his instruction of acquiring knowledge. This knowledge would enhance his her creative capacity. The thinking principle Manana Sakti was reckoned higher than the subject of thinking. Thus the primary subject of education was the mind itself. Subjects knowledge of applied science like metallurgy, bagged bricks, glazing, measurement of area and volume were known as people in ancient India. The scientific system of medicine was developed in the post-Vedic period. Medicine became a subject at center of learning like Takshila and Varanasi. The Sharak Samhita on medicine and Sushruta Samhita on surgery were two important works in the field. Sushruta considered surgery as the highest division of the healing arts and least liable to flashy mathematics or Ganita include arithmetic, geometry, algebra, astronomy, and astrology. Interest in arithmetic was due to use in trade and commerce. By Aryabhatta was a major contribution in the field of mathematics. Astronomy was overshadowed by uh, Brahminical superstitions. Surya Siddhanta, a work on astronomy, consisted of the descriptions of the instruments and the method of observation which were neither accurate nor impressive. The bronze and upper remains from the time of Indus Valley civilization are indicative of the development of chemistry and metallurgy. The process of leather tanning, dyeing, and fermenting were devised during this period. Language. Sanskrit enjoyed a position of privilege in ancient India. Uh, it served a medium of Brahmanical education. Sanskrit was the lingua franca of the educated upper caste as well as the Hindu rulers and countries. Prakriti as a language developed with the rise of Buddhism. It became the language of the masses. Ashoka, the Mauryan king, used Prakrit in the edict. It is interesting to note that in a Sanskrit drama, women and humble character were made to speak in formalized Pratik. Pali was one of the early variant of Prakrit. Most of Buddhist canonical writing are in Prakrit and Pali, through some Sanskrit literature was also in circulations. Another language, Aprabhashka, was used by Jain, written in Gujarat and Rajasthan for composition of poetry. The Dravidian language Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam were in the use of southern parts of India. The found expression of literature in of this period as well. The best example of ancient India advancement was the University of Nalanda. Uh, Snang, famous Chinese travelers, records Nalanda University as a postgraduate university for advanced study of and research. Nalanda was also famous for its schools of discussion, as noted to by the students who had their own hostels. King Bhalaputradeva constructed a temple for the student of Java who come to study of Nalanda. Education in medieval period. With the establishment of Delhi Sultan, Islamic system of education was introduced. Education in medieval India was designed on lines on the traditional of education development under the Abbasid of Baghdad. As a result, scholars from countries like Samarkand, um, Bukhara, and Iran looked up to the Indian scholar for guidance. Amir Khusro, an extremely personalized personality, not only developed the skill of writing prose and poetry, but also devised a new language which suited the local condition. Some contemporary history like Minhaj us Siraj Juddin Bahrani and Afim have written about Indian scholarship. The institutions that provided school education were known as Maktab, while those of higher learning were called Madarsa. The Maktabs were generally run by public donations, while madrasa were maintained by rulers and nobles. There were six different type of institutions, those established and maintained by nobles and rulers, those which were started by individual schools with the help of the state assistance. State assistance or donation, those that were attached to the mosque, those that were attached to the tombs, those that were started and maintained by individual scholars, and those that were attached to the Sufi hospices. The famous madrasa were the Mozida Nasiri and the Firozi Madrasa in Delhi, Muhammad Gauni Madrasa in Bidhar, and Abdul Fazal Madrasa in Fatehpur Sikri. The Sirati figure Shahi gives a list of 14 subjects that were tough in the madrasa, like jurisprudence or dirat, which was a method of recitation, uh, up, pontifications and vocalizations of the text, Quran, etc. The main feature of the Muslim educational system was that is the it was traditional in spirit of the theology in content. The curriculum was broadly divided into two categories: the traditional mankulat and the rational makulat, science, traditions, law, and history. And traditional came under the traditional science, logic, philosophy, medicine, mathematics, and astronomy came under rational science. Later, regional science came to be emphasized more than the traditional science. Traditional subjects dominated educational from the time of Islam. Illumistic 1211 to 36 till the reign of Sikandar Lodi 1489 to 1517. The scenario started changing from the time of Sikandar Lodi, when he invited the brothers Sheikh Abdullah and Sheikh Azullah from Multan to Delhi. They introduced the study of philosophy and logic in the curriculum education system under the great Mughals. The Mughals period made immense contribution in the field of learning and education. The Mughal emperor had great love for learning, and they contributed more in field of spreading education through Pathshala, Vidyapeeths, Maktabs, and Madrasa. Akbar gave grant to educational institution. He started to college near Jama Masjid. At the time, education was not a state subject. Generally, the temples and mosques were the center of elementary education. They were dependent on the donations given by rulers, rich men, and donors. Sanskrit and Persian were taught in temple and mosque. There were no provision for women's education. The women of the royal and rich families got education at home. The Mughals rulers were great patrons of learning and literature. This period saw the rise of Urdu as a language which came out of long contact between Persian and Hindi. The Turk and the Indian Baba wrote his own biography known as Tazuk-i-Babri. The Mughal Emperor Humayun introduced the study of mathematics, astronomy, and geography in the madrasa in Delhi. This helped in reducing the bias the existing education system. Many Hindus took to learning Persian, and a number of translations from Sanskrit to Persian were made. Akbar added subjects like accounting, public administration, geometry, and built a workshop near his place. He personally surprised the workshop. Akbar attempt to introduce a secular and scientific system of education was not liked by orthodox. To introduce a secular and scientific system of education was not liked by orthodox sections. Akbar effort, efforts ushered in a change which continued for century. In the 18th century, some nobles were against the introduction of Western method education, which involved inquiry, observation, investigations, and conducting experiment, memorizing, discussing, and writing out the lesson were the base of instrument in Muslim madrasa. Akbar patronized many scholars such as Abdul Fazl, Faizi Raza, Tudar Mal, Birbal, and Rahim. They were among the nine gems of his court who helped in spreading culture and education. Education in the modern period, 18th century, the beginning of modern period. As a other aspect of social life in India, many of the traditional feature of preceding century had continued in the field of education. The old famous center of higher learning, like those at Takshila, Nalanda, Vikram Shila, near Bagalpur, at Jagdal in North Bengal, Valam, Valabhi at Khatiwar at and uh, Kanchi, Kanchi in South and disappeared long ago. Islamic education, on the other hand, flourished subsequently under the patronage of the rulers and nobles. Still, the majority of the Hindu population continue to receive the education in their time-honored institution, and with the growth of Varnian literature, they studied their classical works. There is not country wrote Thoms in 1891, where the love of learning had to so early an origin, or has exercised so learning and powerful influence. According to him, the English found in India the wider spread style of elementary education and higher education, of which the former was mainly practical while the latter mainly literally philosophical and religious. Are for about 150 years the British were involved in trade and conquest in India, so they maintained distance from all kinds of culture activities, including education. The beginning of original a distance from all kinds of cultural activities, including education. The beginning of Oriental scholarship was made by Warren Hastings in 1781, when he started the Calcutta Madras. His endeavor was primarily due to administration reason. 11 years later, in 1792, Janathan Dakkan, a resident of Varanasi, started a Sanskrit college to educate native Hindus to assist the European. Meanwhile, Christian missionaries were making efforts to introduce Western education by opening elementary schools and providing education to more humble section of the society, including the so called untouchable caste. 19th century. The first half of the 19th century can be called period of educational experiments. The East India Company Chartered Act of 1813 enabled the company to set aside the lakh rupees for the revival of the important improvement of literature and encouragement of learned natives of India and for introduction and promotion of a knowledge of science among the inhabitants of the British territories in India. A debate ensued between the Oriental and Anglicist, which was finally settled by Macaulay of Macaulay's Minist and Bantic resolution of 1835. It was decided that this fund would be utilized to promote European literature and science. William Bankit adopted English as the official language of the government. Lord Hardinge in 1844 decided to grant employment to Indians who had received English education. Word dispatch of 1854 underlined the objective of educational policy, which was the diffusion of the improved arts, science, philosophy, and literature of Europe through English or other modern Indian languages as the medium. The dispatch suggests that the universities should be set up in Bombay, Madras, modern Chennai, and Calcutta, modern Kolkata. It enhances the development of private enterprises, a system of grants in a training teachers in the schools, women in women's education, and so on. In 1857, the universities of Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta were established. The universities of Punjab and Allahabad were established in 1882 and 1887 respectively. Beginning 20th century, in 1901, Lord Curzon conversed the Conference of Direction of Public Institution, which began era of educational reform based on its decision in 1904. The Indian Universities Act was passed that enabled the universities to assume teaching inspection of colleges and undertake measures for qualitative improvement in higher education. Under the colonial rule, mass education was neglected, and the attempt was to create an urban educated client that would act in interpreter between the ruler and the ruled. The examination system was embraced in both high schools and universities. The impact of English education was not even literacy and educational were more um, widespread in towns than in villages. That positive aspect was that it produced a breed of educated political leaders and social reforms who played important roles in the reform on the freedom struggle of the countries. The publication of newspaper and pamphlets brought about an awakening among the masses. Impact of English education. The British encouraged the teaching of English language in school and colleges as they needed people to work in administrative offices either as clerk or babus. This helped in creating a new class of people who later helped them in governments here as well as controlling many aspects of administrations in India. As a result, Christian missionaries who came to India started opening schools for English who taught. You will find many schools in India even today we were who were opened during those time when such school is presentation convert in Delhi, which is still running and providing good education. Many Indians sent their children to these schools as they thought would help them in getting jobs in government officer. Do you know that teaching of English was encouraged by the British rulers to suit their own interest but proved to be useful for the Indians in a different way. People living in different parts of India spoke different languages, and there are no languages that could be understood by all. Use of English of by Indians provided one language that cut across the entire country and become a common link for them. English books and newspapers brought to them new ideas brought from access across the sea. Other countries' French ideas and West other other countries' French ideas from West like freedom, democracy, equality, and brotherhood begin have its impact on the thinking of the English knowing Indians, which gave rise to national consciousness. The educated Indians now brought of getting freedom from British rule. Education in post-independent India. As you know, we got independent from British rule in 1947, and the responsibility of planning for the education of our people fell on the Indian government of free India to achieve the goals of personal, economic, social, political, and cultural developments. It is necessary to make appropriate provision for an integrated program of education for people who happen to be living different levels of development, possessing different linguistic, social, and cultural attributes. Such program have to be based upon a common curriculum to strengthen unity within diversity. Also, to facilitate mobility from one part of a country to another. If adequate measurement are not taken for the spread of education, economic inequality, regional imbalance, and social injustice can widen further, resulting in the building up of tension in society. That is why in 1966, the report of the Education Commission 1964 to 66, popularly known as Kothari Commission, referred to education as a only instrument of peacefully social change to the and the Constitution Amendment of 1976 included education of the uh, concurrent lists, that is center and less and state both assume joint responsibility of education. Elementary education is the most crucial stage of education, spanning of first 8 year of schooling, class first to 8, and laying the foundation for the development of personality, attitudes, social confidence, habits like life skills and communication skills of the peoples. The Constitution under Article 45 provided for the state to introduce compulsory and free education for children up to age of 14. The period of elementary schools is now also recognized as a period of free and compulsory schooling by the Constitution Amendment, making education's fundamental right. We will read about the Act in details under Section 18.9. This lesson, the National Policy of Education 1986 embeds that thrust area in elementary education will be universal access and enrollment, universal retention of children up to 14 years of age in school, substantial improvement in quality of education to enable to all children to achieve essential levels of learning. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was the flagship program of the central government for universalization of elementary education started in 2001. Secondary education. Secondary school is a period of intention, physical change, and formation of identity. It is also the period of intention, vibrancy, and energy. There has been a phenomenal expansion of a secondary education since independence. It is covers children of age group 14 to 18, class 9 to 12. According to 2001 census, 88.5 million children are enrolled in secondary education. However, enrollment figures shows that only 31 millions of these children were attending schools in 2001 to 2002, while a great increase has taken place in taken place in number of schools and in enrollment. There has been lesser in increase in number of teachers. It obvious that on the whole has adversely affected the teacher pupil ratio. The pressure for expansion will most certainly continue and will Indian increase as the country progress towards the universalization of education. All through anyone in India who wishes to pursue a secondary education up to class 10th in allowed to do so. Not more than half of those who pass the upper primary stage of upper primary stage uh, join the join the secondary classes after the success of SSSA elementary stage. The central government is all set to achieve the goal of universalization of secondary education under the राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान, about which will be read in some details under section 18.9. Vocational education in district stream or at senior secondary stage, it aims at preparing students for various occupations involving various kind of activities. Vocationalization of higher secondary education was a major objective of reform envisaged in first education policy adopted in 1968. However, the attempts made till now have not born at the two levels has remained marginal and confined to a few states. According to the Planning Commission report for the 11th five-year plan, there are about 5114 training industry ITIs imparting training in 57 industries and 50 non-engineering trades. A positive step in the direction in recent time has been setting up national skills department mission and training. Higher education. The first prime minister, the first prime minister of India, um late Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who laid the foundation, the process of India modernization, declared that if all is will with the universities, all would be will with the nation. Higher education begins after a student completes senior secondary. We will the nation. Higher education begins after a student completes senior secondary class 12th stage. He then enter a college which is a part of a universities. Despite the key role aligned to higher education, the development in the field has been extremely universal. While few colleges and universities are playing a crucial role in academic excellence, the general condition of universities and colleges is a matter of great concern of the nation. The number of students in the age of 18 to 20 years enrolled in higher education in low, the proportion is even more adverse in some regions, particularly in case of women, scheduled caste and tribes. Rural areas have been touched only uh, marginal by higher education of quality. The facilities in colleges vary widely. It is important that courses in higher education offer program for study and course closely related to life aimed at the development of personality, reasoning and learning capability of students. The stage has subsequent higher education vary greatly. A college student pays by way of fee a very small amount of money. The rest of the expenses on the education is paid of state in central government. This is public money which must be carefully spent for those who deserve higher education. As per report higher education in India, the gross enrollment ratio increased from 0.7% in 1950 to 51 to 11% by 206 to 2007. By 2012, at the end of 11th plan, mm, it is expected to increase to 15%. uh, adult educations. Removal of illiteracy has also been accepted as an imperative goal. Adult education, particularly in the age group of 15 to 35 year has been included the part of minimum needs to program in the sixth plan in the regard national literacy mission. NLM objective is the impart functional literacy to 80 million. Literacy mission uh, LNM objective is the impart functional literacy to 80 million literacy person. The literacy rate after independent in 1951 of 7 plus population was 18.3%, which increased in 2011 to 74.0%. The male literacy rate is 82.14% and female is 65.46%. Technical and vocational education training TVET. In it is impossible to overestimate the importance of technical education. India already has one of the largest reservation of trained manpower. Technical and management of curriculum was targeted on current as well as the project needs of industry. Um, technically trained uh, was a person have already been a source of strength of scientific and industry development. It is often suggested that talented engineering students are not provided the kinds of jobs and work environment which would give them a sense of achievement and job satisfaction. This has resulted in significant incidents of brain drain either in the development countries. This has resulted in of or the management stream when brilliant young men and women who are highly educated and talented leave the country and go to foreign country in search of better income. It is called brain drain. There are several centers of excellence in technical and professional education in India, like the Indian Institution of Technology IIT and Indian Institution of Management IIM. National Education Policy. Since independence, the national has invested a large number of its resources in education. It thereof has a right to expense the efficient functioning of the education institution. The first national education policy of 1968 marked by a significant step of the history education in post-independent India. It aimed at promote national progress, a sense of common citizenship and culture, and also strengthen national integration. It laid stress on lead for radical reconstruction of the education system, technical technology, the cultivations of moral values, and a closer relation between education and the life of the people. The new national policy of education 1986 was formulated on the strength of the considered achievement at the last few years. India already has extension network of schools. Approximately 95% of the population within 1 kilometers of a primary school, and 80% is the within 3 kilometers of middle school. In accordance within the national policy of on education 1986, a comprehension program, national illiteracy mission policy in education 1986, national literacy policy, and LM has been started and imparting literacy among the 15 to 35 age year. A television network covering majority of the population, potentially one of the most significant factor which can undoubtedly revolutionize the teaching learning system by enriching formal education and the supporting non-formal education, as well as the distance learning program. The decision to set up space setting Navodaya Vidyalayas in every district reflect not only the extent of central commitment to education but also its concern for equality for all in the education. Through these schools, the most meritorious children, particularly in rural areas, will be able to get quality education irrespective of the economic status of their parents. Open and district learning system. There are many learners who are compelled to discontinue their study in the formal system. This may be because of financial, geographical, academic, or medical reasons. Open and distance learning (ODL) system is the means of for such learners. In this system, the learner can learn through lesson sent by institutions of distance learning without attending classes. These students can keep themselves engaged in service or business while studying. The learner is not a direct touch with the teacher. It is a distance. Open school at present offers both secondary class 10th and senior secondary class 12th education. You have joined open school, you know that while retaining your regular employment, you are also studying through the lesson sent to you. These lessons have been prepared with a lot of care. The system is open because there is flexibility in terms of pace, place, and time. You are free to select any combination of subject and pass them at your convenience over a period of 5 years. Similarly, facilities is being provided at higher level of Indira Gandhi National Open Universities. These institutions will go a long way in talking education to every Indian citizen who may not have been able to continue with the regular stream of education. Thus, education has developed at rapid in India since independent. The national goals of in development, integration, excellence, and equality in the sphere of education can be fulfilled only when integration, excellence, and equality in sphere of education can fulfilled only when every child in country cross a minimum uh, their ha- uh, their hold of education attainment. a holistic atmosphere of development, hard work, and excellence has to be built up through a program which involves everybody, promoter as well as recipient of new attribute and ideas. Recent development in education. Right to Education Act, the 86th Constitution Amendment, making education of a fundamental right, was passed by Parliament in 2002. The Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, a law to enable the implementation of the fundamental right, was passed by the Parliament in April 2010. The law makes it obligatory on part of state government and local bodies to ensure that every child in age group 6 to 14 gets free elementary education in school uh, in the neighborhood. At present, there are nearly 22 crore children in the relevant age group. However, 44.6% of these children, nearly 92 lakh, are out of school. As a per act, the school management committee of or the local authority will identify the dropouts of the school children above 6 year of age and admit them in classes appropriate to their age, after giving special training. uh, राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान RMSA. RMSA is a centrally sponsored scheme for universalization of access to and improvement of quality education at secondary stage, was implemented during 11th 5-year plan period. The goal of RMSA is to make secondary education of good quality available, accessible, and affordable to all young students in the age of 15 to 16 year, class 11 to uh, class 9 to 10th. The major target of the schemes universal access to secondary level education to all students in the age of 15 to 16 year by 2015, by providing a secondary school within 5 kilometers of any habitation, and higher secondary school within 7 kilometers of any habitation, and universal retention by 210. Strategy for implementation of राष्ट्रीय राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान, to provide access of secondary school to student following strategy have an advised in the RMSA framework. uh, Up graduation of upper primary schools through construction of classroom, laboratories, computer rooms, uh, headmaster room, library room, separate toilets for girls and boys, appointment of additional teachers, and strengthening of existing secondary schools through construction of classrooms, computer rooms, separate toilets for girls and boys, appointment of additional teachers, strengthening of lab facilities, and repair and renovations of existing school buildings to remove disparity among the different social groups of people of the scheme investigations, the special incentives for students belonging to SC/ST minorities, other weaker sections of the society. To improve the quality of RMSA scheme, it has been proposed that following at work should be carried out: construction of science laboratories in service training of teachers, leadership training of schools had curriculum reforms, science and maths education, computer aided education, co-curriculum activities, teaching learning aids. What you have learned. In the Vedic period, education was imparted in the ashram, which were primary, a privilege of so called upper class Varnas. Education was also provided by guides, which become a center of technical education during the period BC 200 AD 300. Buddhist monasteries and the Jain system of the education played a significant role in making India a leadership learning center in the world. After the establishment of Delhi Sultan, the Muslim system of education was introduced, which was an elaborate system encompassing both elementary and higher learning. The introduction of Western education brought some radical changes in terms of providing education to all sections of society, including the school, including the so-called untouchables. The national policy of education 1986 marked a significant step in the history of education in independent India.